It's been absolutely gorgeous across KELOLAND today, and we'll have a pretty nice night on our hands as well. Not as cold as previous nights for that matter either. 40s for overnight lows in many locations, except for the Northeast. You guys will be mainly in the 30s for low temperatures under partly to at times mostly clear skies. Then a beautiful but windy day on the way Tuesday. Unseasonably warm as well, with 80s in the cards for much of KELOLAND. Again, the Northeast being the exception. We'll talk about the rest of that extended outlook coming up, but until then, First at 4 starts right now.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group, KELOLAND News First at 4.
This afternoon, sexual assault cases are on the rise in Rapid City. How one women's shelter is trying to help.
Plus, some signs of winter remain as we seem to leap headfirst into spring, if not outright summer.
Two federal judges hand down conflicting rulings that's causing confusion about a commonly used abortion pill. I'm Nicole D'Antonio at the Supreme Court with reaction from President Biden and how this could impact nationwide access.
Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in to First at 4. I'm Don Jorgensen.
And I'm Bridget Bennett. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and Working Against Violence Incorporated in Rapid City says it can be difficult for victims to come forward with a crime like this. So by raising awareness, the organization hopes to let people know there are great resources out there.
I just want to say that we believe you, we support you. This isn't your fault. You didn't deserve this. And whichever part of your healing journey you want help with, we'll support you through it, whether you want to report, whether you want to get medical attention, whether you need shelter, whatever it might be.
We talk with Working Against Violence Incorporated and local law enforcement about the importance of this month in a full story tonight at 5.
Two Brookings men are behind bars. They're accused each of sexually assaulting an underage girl. Police arrested 34-year-old Mar Lozano Garrido on Saturday. He's being held on $15,000 cash bond. Police arrested 60-year-old Anthony Caldwell on Sunday. He's being held on $25,000 cash bond. The cases are unrelated and they were not random. Police say that both men knew their victims.
Well, there will be another court hearing for Joel Koskan this week in Pierre. Koskan is accused of sexual grooming behaviors. Court documents say there's probable cause that he committed rape, aggravated incest, and sexual contact with a child under 16. Koskan is a former South Dakota legislative candidate. A judge recently rejected a plea agreement in the case. He's scheduled to be arraigned on alternative charges on April 11th.
With today's high temperatures, the snow and ice on the ground are causing some issues. Take a look at this, how the Big Sioux River in Del Rapids looked this morning. While this part had rushing water, another section close by was considerably calmer. And while this part was relatively free of ice, this section certainly wasn't. Coming up tonight on KELOLAND News at 6, you're going to hear from Minnehaha County Emergency Manager Jason Gierman about the prospects for flooding.
Well, the mild temperatures may be a welcome change, but when they're combined with dry conditions and gusty winds, it also brings a new concern over fire danger. Yankton County has posted a no open burn policy for tomorrow. Now, near critical or critical fire weather conditions may be possible on Wednesday and Thursday, too, in far southeastern South Dakota and far southern Minnesota and in northwest Iowa.
Okay, crazy this weather. A couple of weeks ago, we had so much snow on the ground and nothing. Now it's really warm out there.
So warm. We spent the morning outside today, Adam, and it's amazing. It already feels like summer almost.
Yeah, honestly, it does really feel like summer. Even going for a jog this afternoon, it was fantastic, even with a nice little light breeze. But as you guys just mentioned, there is a drawback to this with all this warm and very dry air in place, not to mention dry vegetation still on the ground and a lot of wind on the way. Fire concerns are going to be elevated. Red flag warnings in place for all of our counties shaded in pink. That's basically a large majority of our southern and southeastern communities. This will be in place through much of the day on Tuesday, so please be careful with any outdoor heat sources as grass fires can start and spread very easily. We have now hit that part of the season. Miller, though, still showing remnants of that snow, but that doesn't stop them from reaching some pretty warm temperatures. We're in the mid-70s in portions of central KELOLAND. Compare that to the 44 still in Aberdeen with a south wind at 7 miles per hour. Northeastern KELOLAND, you guys even get in on some warmer temperatures as well, but it's going to take a little while. We would have Sioux Falls there, but No, for whatever reason, I guess cameras are just deciding to not cooperate, but it's Monday. It's nice outside. Can't blame them. 76, though, all the same at the airport. 78 for Mitchell and Winter. 77 your number for Huron, Chamberlain, Valentine, as well as 73 in Rapid City and Spearfish, but 51 in Sisseton and 57 in Ortonville. Beyond that, the wind is starting to pick up a little bit, not to the extent that we're going to be seeing Tuesday and to a lesser extent Wednesday, but still we are going to get that breeze to pick up more and more as we head closer to Tuesday. Beyond that, there really just isn't a whole lot of anything going on. Some cloud cover building in toward Pier, Mobridge, toward Wall for that matter, but really that's the only blemish to an otherwise wonderful day that we've had today. Then we get in on a summer preview tomorrow, 70s and 80s. For southeastern KELOLAND, and it's going to be rather windy as well. Up to the northeast, we'll see even temperatures in the 50s and 60s, which, yes, it's cooler, but yes, it's also better than what we've seen. Out west, easily into the 80s, even a couple of communities towing the line of the upper 80s, like Chamberlain and Valentine. That warmth doesn't last. We do get a reminder that, yes, it is indeed spring. We'll talk about that as we head through the hour.
All right, look forward to it. Thanks a lot, Adam. Let's get a check now on the stories making headlines across the country and around the world. Shots fired at a bank in Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville police engaged an active shooter in a gunfight early this morning. At least 5 people are dead, including the lone gunman. Authorities say that at least 8 others were taken to a hospital, including 2 police officers.
At least 2 officers were shot during this exchange of gunfire. 1 is currently in surgery at University of Louisville Hospital. At least 4 more victims were confirmed to be deceased inside the location, as well as 8 that are now currently being treated at the University Hospital.
And 2 of those injuries were critical, including one of the officers. Police say that the suspect had a connection to the bank. The investigation is ongoing and is expected to continue into the evening.
The abortion pill mifepristone is due to be pulled off the shelf by Friday unless the court issues a stay preventing a judge's order from taking effect. That's setting up a potential legal fight, which could go all the way to the highest court in the land. Nicole D'Antonio has more details from the Supreme Court.
The Department of Justice has filed an appeal against a conservative federal judge's ruling, which suspends FDA approval for the abortion pill mifepristone. Writing, if allowed to take effect, the court's order would thwart FDA's scientific judgment and severely harm women, particularly those for whom mifepristone is a medical or practical necessity.
If the decision stands, it will put women's health at risk and undermine the FDA's ability to ensure patients have access to safe and effective medications when they need them the most.
Texas Judge Matthew Kaczmarek, a Trump appointee, ruled on Friday that the FDA improperly approved mifepristone 23 years ago, saying it ignored legitimate safety concerns about the drug.
We think that the judge totally got it right. The FDA has to go back. It has to be transparent with the public about the studies that it relied on to make its decisions, and it's got to follow the science.
Mifepristone is one of the safest and most effective medicines that we've seen over the last 20 years to help women with their health care, especially abortion care.
A federal judge in Washington state appointed by Obama blocked any changes to mifepristone's availability to the public in 17 states and the District of Columbia, where Democrats sued. The cases are likely headed to the Supreme Court, where the conservative majority may decide the case.
This administration stands by the FDA and is prepared for this legal fight.
Protests broke out over the weekend following the court's ruling.
This should not be normalized. This should outrage you.
Showing that abortion rights will likely remain very important to voters in next year's presidential election. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
Just last week, abortion rights helped propel a liberal judge in Wisconsin to an 11-point victory in a hotly contested election for the state Supreme Court.
One of 2 black Democrats who was thrown out of the Tennessee House last week appeared likely to get his seat back soon. Nashville's Metro Council could return Justin Jones to the legislature immediately when it votes today to fill the vacant position on an interim basis. Jones and another black lawmaker were expelled by the Republican supermajority for their role in a gun control protest on the House floor following a deadly school shooting in Nashville.
For the first time in its 257-year history, professors at Rutgers University are going on strike. The faculty have been in a months-long struggle with university administration over pay, job security, and funding for graduate students. Rutgers officials insist classes will continue, so they're urging students to continue to attend and complete assignments. But union leaders expect the strike will halt all instruction and non-critical research. Well, still to